My mom told the whole family that she took out a loan using my name. She can afford it, she said. Everyone laughed, until the bank called and said, "Actually, that's fraud." My mom's proud smile quickly turned to fear. I was at my aunt's house when I found out. We were having a barbecue, my mom, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. The sun was shining, kids were playing, and someone was burning the burgers. The adults sat in a circle, laughing and telling stories. Everything felt normal. Then my mom suddenly dropped a bombshell. She leaned back, took a sip of her drink, and said, "Oh, by the way, I took out a loan in her name." She nodded at me. "She can afford it." She said it like it was a joke, like I should be grateful. The family laughed. My uncle shook his head and said, "Wow, you really got her." My aunt, eating potato salad, chuckled, "Well, she does have a good job." I sat there, shocked. It felt like I couldn't breathe. "What?" I finally asked. My mom waved me off like it was nothing. "It's just a small loan," she said. "No big deal." My heart pounded. How did you even?" She rolled her eyes. "Oh, stop being dramatic," she said. "I know your social security number. You never check your credit anyway. You'll be fine." I could barely think. My own mother had stolen my identity, taken out a loan in my name, and acted like it was no big deal. And worse, my whole family thought it was funny. Before I could even understand what was happening, my phone rang. I looked at the screen, an unknown number. Normally, I'd ignore it, but something told me to answer. "Hello?" I said. "Hi, is this my name?" a serious voice asked. "Yes, this is my name. This is Sarah from bank name. We're calling about the personal loan you recently opened. We just need to confirm a few details before finalizing it." My stomach dropped. "What loan?" My voice shook. There was a pause. "Ma'am, are you saying you did not apply for a personal loan with us?" I did not. My hands felt ice cold. A long silence. Then Sarah said something that made my heart stop. "Ma'am, if you did not authorize this loan, then this is a case of identity theft and fraud." Right then, my mom's smug smile vanished. The laughter at the table stopped. A second ago, everyone had been joking. Now, they were silent, because now it was real. I stood up so fast my chair almost fell over. Everyone was staring. My mom, who had been laughing moments ago, was now gripping her drink, frozen. "Sarah," I said, trying to keep my voice steady, "how much is this loan for?" There was a pause, then she said the number that made my legs feel weak. $30,000. I could barely breathe. "And when was this taken out?" "Last month," Sarah said. "We sent paperwork to the address on file, but we never got a response. We also tried calling before finalizing the funds, but my mom took them," I whispered, realizing the truth. And that's when my mom snapped. "Oh, stop being so dramatic," she hissed, slamming her drink down. "It's not like I bought a house in your name. It's just a little loan. You make enough to pay it off." I turned to her, shaking. "You stole from me." She scoffed. "Oh, please, after everything I've done for you? I gave birth to you, fed you, clothed you, and now you're mad because I borrowed a little money." Nobody spoke. My aunt, who had laughed earlier, now stared at her plate. My uncle wouldn't look at me. I looked back at my mom. "You didn't borrow. You stole. That's a crime." "Oh, give me a break," she muttered. I gripped my phone tightly. "Sarah, I want to report this as fraud, right now." And finally, my mom looked afraid. All her confidence was gone. "Wait," she said, standing up, reaching for me. "Wait, let's just talk." But I was already walking away. "Ma'am," Sarah said, "I need to transfer you to our fraud department." "Do it," I said. I didn't look back, but as I walked toward the front yard, I heard my mom's voice, sharp, panicked, desperate. "Are you really going to do this to your own mother?" I turned around, shaking with anger. "Are you really going to steal from your own daughter?" She opened her mouth, but no words came out. For the first time in my life, she had nothing to say. I left my aunt's backyard, my hands trembling with rage, but before I could even think, I heard footsteps behind me. My mom was chasing me. "Wait, just wait," she begged, grabbing my arm. I yanked it away. "Don't touch me." She was breathing hard, her eyes darting around, searching for an excuse, some lie that would make this all go away. "Listen," she said in a hushed voice, like she didn't want the family to hear. "You don't understand. I needed that money. I was going to pay it back." I laughed, but it felt empty. "With what, Mom? You're broke. You don't even have a job." Her face twitched. "I had a plan, okay? You wouldn't have even noticed if you hadn't answered that call." I stepped back, disgusted. "So what? You were just hoping I'd never find out? That I'd keep paying and paying, thinking it was some mistake?" She crossed her arms. "You're being really selfish right now." I almost gasped. "Selfish? I raised you," she hissed, Her eyes wild. You think that was free? Food, clothes, a roof over your head, you owe me. I felt sick. Are you seriously saying I owe you $30,000 just for existing? She didn't answer. She just stared at me, her lips pressed into a thin, furious line. And then, she said something that sent a chill down my spine. I did what I had to do. The way she said it, cold, serious, made my stomach twist. Then my phone buzzed again, another unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello? My voice was tight. Hi, this is Matthew from Capital One. We're calling about your credit card application from last week. We just need to verify a few. I almost dropped my phone. What credit card? I cut him off. Silence. Then? You didn't apply for a credit card with us? The blood drained from my face. I turned to my mom. She wouldn't look at me, suddenly focused on the cracks in the pavement. I took a shaky breath. How many, Mom? She didn't answer. I stepped closer, my voice like ice. How many? She clenched her jaw. It doesn't matter. My heart pounded. I could barely breathe. How many credit cards did you open in my name? She sighed, annoyed, like I was the one being difficult. Just a few. My vision blurred with rage. Define a few. Her silence told me everything. I pulled the phone away from my ear. Matthew, I said, voice shaking, I need to report fraud. Before I could react, my mom lunged forward, grabbed my phone, and ended the call. What the hell? I shouted. She was breathing hard, eyes darting wildly. You're not doing this. You're not ruining me over some stupid money. My hands shook. You ruined yourself. Her face twisted. You're my daughter. You should be helping me, not trying to throw me in jail. I stared at her, barely recognizing the woman in front of me. The person who had raised me, who had pretended to love me, had been using me like a personal bank. I turned and walked back into the house. Where are you going? She demanded. I ignored her. I went straight to my aunt, who sat at the table, looking uncomfortable. I need a ride home, I said. My voice was clipped, cold. My aunt hesitated, glancing at my mom, who was standing in the doorway, pale. She stole my identity, I said. She took out loans, credit cards, I don't even know how many yet. I looked around at my family, who sat in silence. And none of you thought to tell me? No one answered. I shook my head, unbelievable. Then, loud and clear, I said, I'm pressing charges. The whole table gasped. Behind me, my mother made a strangled noise, half gasp, half sob. And then, under her breath, she whispered something I wasn't supposed to hear. You have no idea what you've just done. A chill ran down my spine. Her voice was low, dangerous. It wasn't a plea. It was a threat. The whole table was silent. My aunt looked like she wanted to disappear. My uncle rubbed his face like he regretted showing up. My cousins stared at their plates, pretending not to hear anything. But I was done. I turned around slowly. My mom stood in the doorway, fists clenched, her face pale but full of anger. What exactly have I done, Mom? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Held you accountable? Her eyes flashed. You think you're so smart, she spat. You have no idea what's coming. And just like that, I knew she wasn't scared of getting caught. She was scared of what I was about to find out. I grabbed my phone and walked out the front door. I wasn't stopping at one fraud report. Sitting in my aunt's car, hands shaking, I started making calls. Capital One, Chase, Wells Fargo, American Express. One by one, the truth became clear. My mom had been using my name for years. Credit cards, a personal loan, a car loan. She even tried to refinance the house under my name, but got denied. I was drowning in debt I didn't even know existed. And the worst part? My credit was ruined. I wanted to scream, throw something, cry. But I didn't. Because I had a plan. The next morning, I sat in a lawyer's office. I had printed everything, bank statements, fraudulent accounts, even emails she had sent under my name. The lawyer flipped through the pages, face unreadable. Then he looked up and said exactly what I needed to hear. You have a strong case. If you want to press charges, we can move forward immediately. I took a deep breath. Do it. I didn't go back to my mom's house. I ignored her texts, calls, and long voicemails where she switched from apologizing to blaming me in the same breath. I focused on fixing my life. I worked with fraud specialists to dispute the debts. Some could be erased quickly, others would take months, or years, to fix. My credit was a mess. But I wasn't giving up. And while I rebuilt my life, my mom's nightmare was just beginning. First, the bank froze her fraudulent accounts. Then came the fraud investigation. And then, one afternoon, I got the call I had been waiting for. Miss, last name, the detective said. We've completed our investigation. Because of the amount of money involved and the clear evidence, we're moving forward with charges. My breath caught. What does that mean? It means we're issuing a warrant for her arrest. I closed my eyes as a wave of emotions hit me. Relief, anger, sadness, satisfaction. The day my mom was arrested, I wasn't there to see it. But I heard about it. She was at home, probably thinking she had gotten away with it, when the police knocked on her door. She screamed, she cried, she begged. It was just a mistake. I'm her mother. Can't we fix this as a family? The officers didn't care. The police put handcuffs on her, walked her to the car, took her away. And just like that, my mother, the woman who stole my name, my trust, and my future, was finally facing justice. But it didn't stop there. She lost everything. The car she bought with my credit, gone. The house she tried to steal, taken away. Every fraudulent loan, credit card, and account, shut down. And because she already had debts in her own name, she was left with nothing. She called me from jail. I ignored it. She texted me from a burner phone. I blocked her. She had my aunt call me, begging me to let it go. I told my aunt if she contacted me again, I'd add her to the fraud case. After that, silence. My mom went to prison. Not for long, just 18 months, but it was enough. When she got out, she had nothing. No money, no home, no credit, no control over my life. And me? I rebuilt. It took years, but I fixed my credit. I saved money. I made sure she would never have access to me, or my finances, ever again. She tried to reach out after she got out. Letters, emails, messages through family. I never answered. Because to me, she was already gone. And that? That was my final revenge.